Here, Jenny McGarvey with you today, working with the This Life Noted kit from September Scraptastic Kit Clip. On the screen, you can see this is my notebook for planning my project life or pocket pages. And you will see that I've sketched out where the photos will go based on availability and the different types of cards. Now here we're going to get started. I'm going to start adding different photos in various sizes over each pocket where they're going to go eventually. Now I don't trim them up or anything like that. That all comes when I work through the pages. So I'm starting out arranging them in their correct place, and once I'm finished doing that, then I will go back and add filler cards and journaling cards. Then I will embellish each pocket. As you can see, I'm going through this kit, the cards from the kit this month, adding the filler and the journaling cards. I used that fun splatter week of card so that I can use it for my date card. And then I'm also choosing some journaling cards for the 3x4 slots. Now in this process, I often pick one, go back, choose something different, see what works with my color scheme and the overall layout of the page. Then once I've got the cards that I want, then I start working. Now on this one, I'm going to start with the title page, or the title card, excuse me, and embellish that one first. I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape and then also those snap alphabet stickers to write the date on the card. Now some weeks I don't actually use a date card, though most weeks I do, but they're usually different. I rarely do the same thing twice, and I feel like that keeps up with the theme of each week. Though I could see if you did the same thing every week, then it would be continuity through the album. So either way, it would actually work really well. Now I'm placing those gray snap alphas on that card. And then after I'm finished with the gray ones, spelling out September, I'm going to go through and use the aqua ones and put 2 through 8. Then that card will be finished and will be able to be placed right into the page protector. Next, I will go ahead and start looking through the Ormolu tags that come in the kit, and I will cut out the one that I'm going to place on that top center photo, keeping it very simple and using my tiny attacher to attach the love tag that I've trimmed from those tags. I will also now go and start the journaling for those top 2 photos. This one I'm choosing to handwrite them, but I like to keep a variation of handwriting and typewritten journaling in the album. Once I'm finished there, then I will go ahead and use my typewriter and type out on that bottom card the journaling about fantasy football and those 2 bottom photos in my spread. I try to keep things in the album fairly chronological, but I don't stick to any hard and fast rules about how they have to go or how the journaling cards go or what I do with the journaling. Just what fits best for that week is how I handle it. And that's the same thing with the journaling. Sometimes I have a lot of room and so I can hand journal. Sometimes I don't have as much room and so I use the typewriter. It just depends. So then you'll see once I finish with the typewriting, I'm going to go ahead and embellish that left bottom photo. I'm looking through those Ormolu tags and I'm going to choose one that I can use for journaling using both alphabet stickers and handwriting a little note. This one I'm actually writing the team name that my middle son had chosen for his fantasy football team as well. Now that that card is finished, I can move on to the next photo and embellish that one as well with the team name that my oldest son had chosen for his fantasy football. Now I chose not to only write that on there. I also chose to embellish it just a tiny bit, making it a little bit different from the previous photo as well. I like them all to be a little bit different, but keep some similarities for continuity's sake. So you can see that I'm going to use one of those wood veneer stars from the This Life Noted kit. And they're really fun. I love the two-tone that those stars have. Now I'm going to remove all of the cards from the page and then actually start putting them inside the page protector because the left side of this layout is finished. I have to go back and check every once in a while to make sure I'm putting them in the correct spots because I often get confused and put them on the wrong side and then it doesn't work out design-wise. So I make sure that I stop and I look as I'm going. So now as you can see, I finished that left side. It's completely done. It's embellished. It's all the journaling is complete. And then I'm going to move on to the right side. And you can see the right side here now. The photos, like we did at the beginning, are already all laid out. I'm going to go ahead and start trimming those up and finding cards for those slots as well. Now with those top left and bottom right photos, I trimmed those smaller than the page protectors. So I will find 4x6 cards and then I will add those photos to the 4x6 cards and dress those cards up a little bit as well. Now this page is mostly from Friday and then also one from a photo from Saturday and a photo from Sunday. This documents basically my oldest son's birthday weekend. You can see that I chose some basic cards from past kits, the B-sides, for those two smaller photos. And I'm changing them up a little bit, finding what works best for what I want to do for journaling, for embellishing. And that center card that I'm going to use for journaling is just a 4x6 card trimmed down to 4x4 to fit into that slot. And it works out perfectly. It looks like a piece of notebook paper, and I'm going to use it for journaling. Now, right now, I'm dressing it up with stamps, the stamps that came in the This Life Noted kit. I'm going to use a Prima ink on the fun little corners that look like splatters. And then I'm going to use my VersaFine on the Yes Please at the top to create sort of a fun card that looks nice and a little bit whimsical all the same time with the splatters. So here you go. You can see that I'm doing the Yes Please. You can't actually see the card because it's down below the screen, but there is the finished product. I'm going to slide in those photos that I believe to be done that I'm not going to embellish, though I do come back and embellish one of those in the future. Now I've sought out some alphabet stickers from my stash that I can go ahead and use on that lower left-hand photo. And I'm going to spell out batting practice here. And then I will go in the future, I will poke holes and then do some hand stitching on that one as well. I often love to use white space or blank space on a photo to do journaling or giving it sort of a title effect. I think it's really fun and it ties into the photo specifically, and I don't have to use a journaling card or a filler card to document what was happening in a photo. I can do it right on top of the photo. Now on this card as well, I'm going to take my marker and my ruler and I'm going to draw a straight line, and then I'm going to add Dodger batting practice to this card and making it completely self-sufficient. And I think the effect turns out very cool. And it's really neat because it was just some letter stickers and a marker. And I often actually write my journaling right on the photo, as I did in this case with the marker, adding some journaling lines and, using a pen. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to adhere the photo to that top left 4x6 card, and remembering I used one from a previous This Life Noted kit, the B side that was just really basic, and what? Using those alphabet stickers from this month and putting on a little bit of information about the photo. It's a good way to change the cards up a little bit and not use the same cards every or the same size photo every week, every spread. Sometimes I just use 4x6 photos, and sometimes I trim up 4x6 photos so that I can create something a little bit different than just the pocket. But I don't always like to have that much work involved. So some weeks I just slide them in. This week I used the Ormolo tag and had that accent the photo of my son, and then used those snap photos or letter stickers, excuse me, to write Skyline, which is the place where he was having dinner at. Then I'm going to add some journaling lines and go ahead and write out just a little bit of journaling about the photo. I like to hand write my journaling to keep it sort of real for in the future to remember handwriting and stuff. I know that's important. I know I enjoy going back and looking through things that my grandparents and my parents have written out and seeing their actual handwriting. And then using the date stamp adds a little bit of contrast to the handwriting as well. Now I've trimmed one of those Ormolo tags and put it up in the corner. And then I'm just going to add one of the wood veneer hearts from the kit as well. And again, just like the stars, I love the difference in the colors of wood veneer in the one piece. I'm going to use the Snap Alpha to put a 6 on there because that was the date, September 6th, that we went to this baseball game. Now, I told you before that I believed this photo to be finished, but I decided to write Go Reds using the Snap Alphas in the lower right-hand corner. And we were at a Reds baseball game, and so the Go Reds seemed fitting on that fairly silly picture. I try to keep my supplies organized and tidy so I can work through them, and that doesn't happen. What just happened, I was searching for that one wood veneer happy birthday, knowing that I wanted to use it, but I wasn't sure where it had gone, and I had placed it for safekeeping. Seems to always happen to me, but works out better when I keep my supplies tidy. Now I'm doing the journaling for that center journaling card, the one that I had trimmed down and hand stamped to create my own journaling card, which turned out really fun because I don't actually have any pre-made ones that are 4x4. Now I'm just writing out the journaling for that weekend and talking a little bit about my son's birthday and all the things that we did for his birthday, which he turned 12. Now I'm going to finish embellishing that lower right-hand corner picture that was taken on his birthday. I'm going to add the alphabet stickers to spell out 12. And then once those are on there, I'm going to go ahead and use a tape runner and adhere that happy birthday wood veneer, sort of overlapping those letter stickers. Once that is adhered down to the page, I will use, see, you can see that I'm not finished actually, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to use the sequins that are in the kit and place a few of those in a scattered pattern. And if you know anything about me, you know that I use a lot of scattered pattern embellishments, and I use my Martha Stewart glue pen for these specifically and glue those down. Once I'm finished getting them all glued down, I'll let it dry for a few minutes while I finish up that last card, and then I'll go ahead and place it inside the page protector. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason about how I put those sequins down or when I use stars or anything like that. I just sort of throw them out there and find a way that looks pleasing and then go from there and adhere them down in the spot that I found. Now I also used the date stamp on that one as well to highlight his actual birthday versus the days of the celebration. And I'm going to go back and finish up that batting practice card, which is unusual. I don't usually go back. I usually have already finished those all at once, but I did just leave that stitching for the end on this card. I love hand stitching just in a tiny amount. I think it adds just a little bit something special, something extra to look at, and the texture is a lot different. Now I do use washi tape to secure the ends of those threads. I don't know how that's going to work in the future. I don't know if the washi tape is going to pull up or whatever, but for now it works great. And since I rarely use a whole roll of washi tape, it serves me just fine because it's really cute and fun. So I'm going to adhere those Scraptastic stars and put the thing in my page protector. And that's it. Thanks for watching.